Springs, and you know, I've been coming to Palm Springs for decades now, and I still find things that still surprise me in places that I haven't been or haven't seen. There's so much out here. There's so much history. There's so much interesting nostalgia. Just like the place behind me. I'm a huge Frank Sinatra fan. Been one all my life. Never thought I would even be near Frank Sinatra, and then I found out he was buried here when I was younger and was lucky enough to pay my respects to him. Now, with that being said, Frank had two places out here. He had the one in Rancho Mirage, which was the compound, and he also had the Twin Palms estate that's just right across the street, and that's out here in Palm Springs. And that was the first house that he moved into, the one that everyone knows, and then the compound. The thing that's hard to find with Frank's name out in Palm Springs, and it's synonymous with just Palm Springs itself, Nancy, his daughter, not his wife and him were building that house before Eva and him moved in. Where did Nancy live? Well, I finally found it. I can't believe it, and I'm going to show you, and we're going to get to the story of what happened to Frank's grave. Look at that. You got this big, beautiful mountain in front of you, and we're on the corner of Baristo and Potencio, and this is in the historic tennis club area. The tennis club's right down there on your, well, straight ahead, not even on anything. But I found this house, Nancy Sinatra'S house. I am so thrilled. Nancy Sinatra, well, famous for these boots are made for walking, and, well, of course, her famous dad, Frank. It's a hand-painted little insignia there for Sinatra. And this is called Villa 92. It is for sale, so if you are interested, I will get into the facts of that too. And once again, there are the lights. Now, she lived out here for decades. Beware of the dog. There's a sign posted there, and we'll start on this side and we'll make our way around. Looks like those lights need a little TLC. Current asking price for this house is $2.7 million, and it's 3 beds, 3 baths, 2,700 square feet. It's mid-century modern, of course, and as they were saying, it's almost like stepping into a time capsule. This 1965 gem blends retro sophistication. So we're about to walk up to the front, and we'll do a proper intro. So here's the front door of it. So it wraps around the pool area like a lot of houses do in the Palm Springs area. Got the statue out front. So she lived here long enough where I got to figure Frank was over here quite a bit. I would think so. But what I really want to get into is what happened to Frank's grave, his final resting place. And I've read a few things on this, and look at that. You can see in the back, I'll show some pictures. Let me insert those real quick, but I'll show the backyard. You can see the little wraparound pool area there. See if we can see anything else around the wall. But Frank's headstone in the last couple of years has been replaced, and I kind of want to talk about why. And at first I thought, you know, it's probably done by, well, I have my opinion, and I thought maybe it was done kind of being petty. But now that I've read up on it, I don't think so. Wow, I can see it in the back. So here we are showing the back. The neighbor was just saying this place is way overpriced, and he won't come down on the price because of the emotional attachment of who owns it now. There is the backyard. All the original statues. Pretty cool little spot though. So what I wanted to get into was the interesting thing I was reading up about was, okay, so Frank and his headstone being replaced. And by the end of this video, leave your own opinion of what you think happened or whose side you're on. So it was between Barbara and the daughters is what I get. So Tina and Nancy. Frank died back in '98, I believe. And when Frank moved out of Palm Springs, that was Barbara's doing. Barbara wanted Frank to be up in Beverly Hills in that area, and for whatever reason, maybe to be closer to Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. So when Frank had his heart attack, he was taken to the hospital. They worked on his heart and worked on him for about 2 hours. Through those 2 hours, Nancy and Tina lived in the area. Barbara never called Nancy or Tina and said, hey, by the way, your dad's in the hospital. He had a heart attack. But 2 hours later, at around, I believe it's 10:30, 10:50 at night, Nancy got a phone call that said, hey, your father's passed. And the phone call was not from Barbara, but it was actually from Frank's physician. She never even let him know. And Tina writes about it in her book, and she says, well, maybe she wanted to be remembered as the main grieving widow, and she also wanted, you know, because she believes that it was a control factor. But with that being said, there was something called the incident that we'll get into. So the incident happened over in Cathedral City on Thanksgiving Day night. Thanksgiving Day night, that's funny to say. But somebody went into the graveyard and chiseled out with a hammer and chisel, hammered out where it said, the best is yet to come, that was left. Father, husband, and I forgot what the other thing was, but they chiseled out husband off of the gravestone. And we're going to head over to Cathedral City right now and talk more about that and get into the story just a bit more of how Frank came up with that other headstone. Wow. I can't believe this has been here this whole time. As big as a Frank Sinatra guy I am, I had no idea. What the heck? I like the guy walking by. It's way overpriced. Couldn't agree more, my dude. Give it a little plug too, so while I'm here, we are on Potencio. That's what the address lays off of. And it's 300 South Potencio. Sandra Quinn, that's the realtor. You can look it up at sandraquinn.com if you want to see more photos of it. And if you're interested in buying it or just like to look at stuff like me and say all the things I don't like about houses that I can't afford, of what I would change. All right, let's go over to the cemetery and see Frank.
Before we get on with the big one, I'd like to take this opportunity to level, you might say. To speak for just a second to us.
We're at Cathedral City, and so I guess we're at the place of the incident, as they say. The incident that happened to Frank's, well, final resting place, his grave marker that used to say father, husband. Something was on my leg. It didn't say that, but on Thanksgiving, somebody snuck in here, and we'll talk about what exactly happened to Frank's first, well, grave marker. As I hide out here in the shade, you can see there's the main office, and a reporter by the name David Lansing started investigating what actually happened. He worked for Palm Springs Life magazine, and so he heard that it was, well, everybody kind of figured out it was a deliberate act. When he went to the cemetery officials, they reported no answers and were unwilling to talk. And as we walk through here under the tree, so they said, call the police. Well, we did contact the police, and when he did contact the police, they referred the reporter back to the cemetery with no explanation. They said, if something happened, it's up to the family to tell you. And that's where they left it. So you can see they've cleaned up, done some lawn maintenance here, and the one with the flag and the flowers is always Frank. Here we are, Francis Albert Sinatra and Barbara Ann Sinatra. Now Frank's original one looks like somebody left a glass with a little bit of whiskey in there for Frank. I haven't seen that before. So his original one said the best is yet to come, and it was in the same style stone as Barbara's. and it said beloved father and husband. Now, as I was saying, somebody came on that Thanksgiving night and they chipped away husband out of there and damaged the grave marker. And remember Sleep Warm Papa, because we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Frank's original one looked just like Barbara's. Looks like somebody left her some yellow flowers and a pink flamingo. So as I said, back at Nancy's house, Barbara wrote a book called Lady Blue Eyes, where Barbara mentioned their dogs that they had numerous times in the book. However, she did not reference Nancy or Tina, almost like they didn't exist. And you know, it probably hit them pretty hard, because it was almost like she was trying to erase the past or the family of Frank's first wife, Nancy, and Tina and Nancy from that marriage. So this is really interesting to be here and see the new one and just get a new take on what happened. Another thing to point out, so Tina in her memoir said at the funeral that was held up in LA before they flew Frank's body out here, that when she went and saw her dad, that she put a note and 10 dimes. Now, the 10 dimes, a lot of people do know, and if you don't know, goes back to when Frank Sinatra Jr. was kidnapped and held for ransom up in Lake Tahoe. So Frank, after that, always carried dimes in his pocket just in case you needed to make a phone call. Now, when Frank passed, Tina was noted as saying that she slipped a roll of dimes into her dad's pocket with a note that said, "Sleep warm, Papa." And as you can see, Francis Albert Sinatra, "Sleep warm, Papa." My opinion has changed. I've been here with the old grave, the new one. I know a lot about Frank, read tons backwards and forward. I have my opinion in the comments. Tell me yours. Tell me what you think happened. Before, I was like, man, that is, Frank got done dirty, and I thought that was horrible. But now, after looking into it, I kind of see a different side to it. Everybody loved Frank. What can you say? Frank is, you know, played an impact in so many people's lives. I mean, still does to this day. Huge Frank Sinatra fan. We'll be here 100 more times, Lord willing. And if you like this video, please leave a comment. Please consider subscribing, hit the notifications. I do appreciate that. It does help. Other than that, thank you for watching. I always love something about Frank, but I just thought that story was interesting, and I couldn't believe I finally got to see Nancy's house, and it can be yours for $3 million. I'll take, as you can see in my other video, Bing Crosby's house, but very cool. Thanks for watching. Even, you know, here we are 27 years later after Frank's passing, and wow, people still fighting him. I think he's going to keep this one for a while. I don't think anybody's going to chip away "Sleep Warm, Papa," but Barbara, rest in peace, beloved wife, mother, and grandma. Everyone loves you, Frank.
You keep playing where you shouldn't be playing, and you keep thinking that you'll never get burned.